People always ask how I balance my family life with 400 shows a year. I'm just doing what I love with the people I love. It's my magic life.
I like Wes Iseli. I like everything about him.
All right, today was scheduled just to be Natalie and I, but we had our publicist, Jessica Ross, fly in all the way from LA. She's working on a project of her own out here in Virginia with us, and we're helping her film and edit, and we're part of her show.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Jessica, what do you think? You having fun out here?
I am. Well, hi everyone, and it's so amazing to be here. It's our first time actually meeting in person, and I feel like I'm at an amusement park. The second you walk in, you see stuff. It's from the entire house is full of magic stuff and toys and games. There's a tree house in the backyard. There's a barn with chickens and ducks and rabbits. And then there's a shooting range. And then there's an axe throwing wall. I mean, I've never seen anything like this before.
That's awesome. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like one of those things where you live near the beach and you never go and you don't appreciate it as much. And then I guess we live here and it's like, yeah, we can entertain you for the whole week, but you don't realize it when you're living in it. Like, you can just choose what to do one day and you take it for granted, I suppose.
Oh, I
But
realize.
now she sits there and lists it all. It's like, yeah, we have all that. Yep, we can keep you entertained. Not a problem.
And it's like, no, so if you take it for granted, it's the same thing when people come out to California and they're like, oh, this is so exciting. I'm like, whatever. Because it's like I've been going there for...
You're used to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, people get excited about all these things, and they're like, oh my gosh, I've been to Laguna Beach. Have you been here? Have you been there? And I'm like, yeah. It's,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Natalie, it might be old hat to Natalie. It's
No,
still
I'm not
pretty
saying
damn
that
special to me. No,
No.
because listen to this. We invite somebody over for dinner, and what do I say? Invite them over before the sun goes down, because I want to take them on a
Yeah.
hike to the treehouse. I got to show off my treehouse.
And the story about the treehouse, too, I mean, and the funny thing is, even just walking around the backyard, you hear stories, like, I saw empty bottles of alcohol, and you're telling me that was from moonshiners. And so I think the interesting thing about this property is not only does it have so many interesting things on it, it's historical.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, you can walk along the property, there's shell casings and just all types of things because also I saw a fence, barbed wire that was over 100 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, really a piece of history because when you think about it, this is, Virginia is like one of the, original states of the country. So there really is so much to this place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I told you about that fence line.
And
Yeah.
And then the story too, what I loved about the tree house, when I walk in, there's a toilet. I mean, that you would have a toilet in a tree house. And then you told me
It's not a real toilet. It's not a real
not running
treehouse
water.
unless it has a toilet.
But it's not running water toilet. But it's definitely a toilet. When we went camping out there, Lana and I, instead of going in the woods, we went up to the treehouse. That's what we used. Because it was just easier.
definitely climbing down those big flights of stairs. And I mean, and the biggest shock to me was that you told me someone lived in there.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I
Well,
think
it's livable. I mean,
Yeah.
Barely.
It's got a wood stove. It's got a bunk bed area.
Quote unquote, a kind of a bunk bed, a board for a bed.
Yeah, but it's got a little ladder up to it. It's very cute.
Oh, it's cute to look at. I mean,
And then it's got the bathroom, and it's got a little work table. And on top of the wood stove, you can actually cook. He had a frying pan and skillet in there. He had tea. He was boiling tea in there, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. I love my treehouse, but I love my property. My little PlayStation area with the axe throwing thing. Yeah, it's great.
there's everything. And then, of course, the cutest twins ever. Me and the twins in person. I mean, it was like, they're like little dolls. I just can't stop playing with them. I'm like just so amazed by them. Just cuteness overload.
Well, I think everybody thinks they're going to scream all day long, every day, and
No, they are the best behaved babies. I mean, really, like, they maybe cry a few minutes a day, honestly. And you take them to a crowded restaurant and they're not screaming. I mean, that shows how good parents you are.
until we turn the microphones on a podcast, then they start chirping. Did you notice? As soon as we turn the microphone
They're
on.
like, they're talking about us. we need to let them know that we're here.
So that's the only thing that kind of I don't know. If I say make my blood boil, that doesn't sound good. But
It puts you on edge for some reason.
It puts me on
Everybody knows
edge.
that this is a family-friendly podcast. Everything we do is family-friendly. All of our shows include the whole family. But for some reason, it puts you on edge a little bit if a baby, cries a little on the
Coos in the
podcast.
background.
But it happens. I mean, we can't get a babysitter for every podcast. I mean, one, it's during COVID, so pinching pennies. And two,
When we're on the road,
goodness
it's gonna be
gracious.
crazy.
So, yeah. But they just want to join in. I have Julian in my arms right now. He just decided he didn't want to hang out with his sister, so.
But
I want to hang out with the adults.
Yeah.
Who wants the adult table?
But we interviewed Josh Janowski last week, and while I was on the podcast with him, I was saying, yeah, I went to school for marketing, and I was going to be a special effects movie makeup artist. I was all set to go to Art Institute of Pennsylvania, but then Terminator 2 came out. And I didn't want a CGI job. And do you like your job? I felt like I just went on some weird tangent.
No, it was
in the
sounded-
background, Lana comes walking in the room, and she's like, it's screaming, Mom. It's screaming. I can't make it stop yelling, Mom. And she's shaking the baby up and down, and I'm hearing that, and I'm trying not to look, and I'm trying to have a conversation with Josh. I listened to it later on. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
No,
Or it was.
it wasn't.
But in my mind,
it was fine.
I had an end to that story, and it's like I cut it off, and it was like, so do you like your job? It was just random. Anyway.
Well, it turned out absolutely fine. You just, when stuff like that happens, you just have to, like right now, look down at the table and continue your conversation with Jessica.
Yeah.
Bye.
So much is about multitasking, I think, and I've, just in daily life, you have to, as a parent, as an actor, as a publicist, you always have to do 3 or 4 things at once.
Well, we got you out here to film a television show. We're working on your. What is this? Is this a teaser? Is this to pitch it? Is this the show? What is this?
So this is a mini season of a show. I mean, I had an original plan. So the show is tentatively titled Cinderella of Hollywood, and I had written the show in 2019 before COVID, and of course, with COVID, like your life, my life was completely upheavaled. And everything changed, so I switched. I kind of switched things around, and now this is the precursor, to the main season. But because things are shut down, I couldn't shoot a lot of things I was supposed to shoot this year. You have to wear a mask all the time. There hasn't been any events since March of 2020. When my birthday 2020 was when the shutdown was announced. So this is part of the show. I wanted to get away from it all because it's been really stressful. I've had a lot going on the past year with my family, and again with the pandemic. So my life coach she was like, hey, you know what? You should spend a week in Virginia visiting your friends, get away from it all, just do nothing and relax. And here I am.
Yeah, but it's far from nothing and relaxing. We were talking about multitasking. We're filming, we're editing.
It's different from our show. That's all. It's not what we're used to.
So, that's it. But because we're filming and editing and scripting and producing and everything, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I didn't expect, all of that. Of course, when I booked this trip, I thought we were doing that afterwards. But yes, I mean, and again, like filming a show is such a process. But I mean, what makes your show different is that your show is about your family and your 400 shows a year, versus mine, was starting my career over, and just all the trials and tribulations of restarting your career as an actress in your 30s and having to decide about having kids and getting married and having to make all these major life decisions in a short period of time.
Yeah.
And the clock is ticking.
Well, yeah. And you'll still have plenty of time to relax. You came over here over Easter, and we're going to relax over Easter. And
go on Easter egg hunt?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have not been on Easter egg hunt in so long. And especially on 40 acres. This is going to be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's fun. They usually, I don't know how they're going to do it this year. We usually have one Easter egg hunt for the older kids and one for the younger. But
So I guess
Are we putting
I don't know how
Jessica
it's-
with the older
I don't know
kids
how it's
so she
working.
can hop around the field?
I don't know. She might want to go with the younger kids. No.
She have a better chance.
Yeah.
so I'll win.
Jessica got the golden egg. But anyway, Jessica, we'll get back to you in a second because we were going to talk about some baby stuff and our Zoom show real quick, and then we'll get back to you, I promise. But you saw on number 1, you want to talk about the test that you ordered.
Oh, yeah. So every time, without fail, when we leave the house with the boys, we are always stopped multiple times. The main question is, oh, they're twins? And well, to that, it's yes. And one of the other main questions is, are they identical?
And Jessica witnessed that tonight when we were leaving the restaurant.
Guys,
They're like
stopped twice.
Yeah, I saw them being stopped twice, and that was within 5 minutes.
No,
Right.
And it's like being an A-list celebrity.
I had to walk by 2 tables because it's COVID. Every other table is empty, right? So I
Right.
walked by 2 tables with people in them, and both tables stopped us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see because when you realize it's like the little things. Again, since I don't have kids yet, and who knows if I'll have twins. My mom keeps bugging me to have twins. But it's the little things that you take for granted, like just being able to go to the grocery store or go to a restaurant and go in and out, and no one stops you. All of a sudden you have twins, and it'll take you 20 minutes just to leave somewhere because everyone's stopping you. Like like I said.
I mean, when you have one baby, people want to coo and ooh and ah over your baby. But when you have twins, it's like,
I can see.
my gosh.
Yeah, it was funny noticing when I'm sitting at the table and I see everyone looking at us.
Yeah.
And it's something, again.
It's because you have twins.
Yeah. Oh, I noticed it right away. Everyone's turning their heads. They're like, oh my gosh, twins.
Yeah. They have two.
And-
There's 2.
And when we had Lana, we were stopped by a lot of grandmas.
Yes.
With twins, you're stopped by everybody.
Everybody.
Dudes,
And
young girls, clerks,
right.
clerks that ring up your stuff will stop you and talk to you and not ring up your stuff. You got stuff on the belt that you're trying to check out, and they want to talk to you first and have that conversation.
God forbid you're in a hurry.
You're being held
How do
hostage.
you do that? Okay, I have a question. What do you do when you guys are in a hurry?
You just try to be nice, but quickly, and answer the questions quickly. Oh, thank you, and just kind of don't engage too much.
Yeah.
But still try to be nice because, I mean, you don't see twins very often.
No.
It's a rarity.
And you don't wanna put a bad
I
taste
get
in
that. And you
anybody's
don't
mouth.
want to be mean to anybody because they're genuinely curious
Yeah.
and they're being nice about it.
Yeah.
But it's, it's just hard to get what you want quickly because people are always stopping you.
Yes.
And another main question is, are they identical? And our answer right now is we have no idea, which sounds so odd. But they're what you call die twins. So they had their own placenta, own sac. So they only had a 30% chance of being identical. However, they have the same blood type. So the percentage of being identical goes up a little bit. And to me and Wes now, they look like completely different people. But when people meet them and see them, they're like, they look exactly the same. Their hair is a little different, I think people see the difference in the hair.
But their weight is almost a pound different too,
Right.
which could be different
I can't
things.
tell them apart.
Right.
I mean, to me, like I
See,
still can't tell them apart.
a lot of people tell me that they can't tell them
Yeah,
apart.
so I feel like they have to be identical.
And then some people are like, oh yeah, well, one has a narrower chin. Well, one is smaller than the other, and the other one's the bigger one has chubbier cheeks. So I don't know if that's the difference. So for my birthday, since it's coming up,
21st birthday?
absolutely, I told Wes got me a DNA test for the boys, and all you have to do is swab their mouths and you send it in, and it's going to tell you whether or not they're identical or fraternal. Because when people ask, it's like, I don't know, see, they're these type of twins and blah 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 blah. And now once we have the test, we can say yes or no and be done with the conversation and move on. So
You should maybe get a piece of cardboard and write down some questions that people always ask. And
Yes.
Like here, yes, they are twins.
She
Yes.
saw
Yes,
that
they
on
are.
Facebook. Some
Yes.
lady had that
Yes.
and a stroller.
she put it on top of the stroller. Yes, they are twins. No, they are not identical. One's a boy and one's a girl. And it's, you know, it's just all this stuff. No, I did not plan this. Yes, it was natural. You know.
And people will walk up to you.
No,
and,
they ask
and they'll
you.
say, "Did you guys have fertility treatments?"
Right.
Yep.
Does it run in your family?
Do people
Yeah.
like get that deep?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine asking a random person,
Right.
"Hey, did you have fertility treatments?" I mean, that just seems so out of place.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So,
you know,
just
it
a little
for
TMI.
fertility treatments do up the odds of having multiples. So I mean, it's a legit question, but I wouldn't ask anybody
I
that,
would ask
you know.
a random person like
But-
that I haven't met before.
And the other thing that's really funny is most of the people that stop you and, oh, they're twins? Yeah. Oh, are they identical? And we tell them the thing. And then it's, oh, my mother's uncle's brother's son's cousin had twins 30 years ago. Yeah. It's like, cool.
You want a cookie?
Wow, wow, we could be best friends. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's like people in entertainment, they'll say like, oh, like, you know, like my brother's cousin's wife, you know, like was on this movie or something
Yeah.
like that. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and again, they're trying to be nice. They're trying to relate.
Yes.
But, you know, it's just funny.
You're like, that makes you really close to
Yeah.
having twins.
One lady that we knew her. I won't say who she is, but we knew her.
No, I want to know who
and
she is.
we know her. She's really sweet. I love her. She's really nice. But she was like, well, at least you aren't like my husband's parents, where they had 2 kids, but it was, you know, they were 10 months apart and they were born in the same year. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's not the same. Like, I didn't tell her that, but I'm thinking that's completely different. Like, okay, yeah, they had, but it was 2
Separate
it was
pregnancies.
2 separate pregnancies. One, yes, you're very, very true.
That's like the first
And
main thing.
also, it was, yeah, now you're
Your belly
you
got to a
got
beach
one,
ball size. It didn't
you know?
get to blimp size.
right, exactly. But you had, you had 10 months between babies.
That's not
and,
twins.
you know, you didn't have to have 2 of everything at the same size at the same time. It's not the same. I'm sure it was difficult, but it's not the same.
And if
You
they're
can't
both
compare.
boys, you could have used the first boy's clothes.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you
Yes.
can't compare having 2 babies growing
Right.
versus 1 baby growing.
No,
I mean,
completely
that's,
different.
It's not, yeah.
So I didn't tell her. I was like, oh wow, yeah. Just when they're over the hump, they had to do it all over again. That's pretty much what I said. But it's you know, and that's true. Just when you're over the hump of you got a baby that's finally sleeping through the night, and you think you've gotten to a certain point, now you got to start all over again with a newborn.
Yeah.
That's true. But it's still not 2. It's totally two different situations. So it's just funny.
But we had the fitness instructor on here talking
Yeah.
about, you know, your belly. it might open up and rip open if you do
so
sit-ups
scary.
or something after 6
Yeah,
weeks.
That's so scary.
I can't remember what it's called, but yeah. But she told us how to figure out whether or not, and we tried, and I don't think I have it.
And then they said, all right, well, it's only been 5 months. Your body went through traumatic stress having twins, and you got to think of it as rehab. And you're like, yeah, but I still can't lose any weight.
I am stuck.
And-
I am stuck, and I don't like where I'm at all.
And
Not
now
at all.
Facebook, they're saying,
Yes.
your
Your
Facebook twins group is saying, oh,
Yeah.
you probably won't until after a year.
Yeah, so I'm on all those twin Facebook groups, and there was a lady who was like, so I initially lost a ton of weight right after birth, which I did. And then I got stuck, and it's like, no matter what I do, I cannot lose the weight. But I don't want to cut back calories because she's breastfeeding as well. And you cut back too many calories, you lose your supply because your body is trying to maintain yourself
So you can't,
instead of the milk.
I didn't even think of it.
So it's like, I am in the same boat. She's like, I'm stuck. I don't know what else to do. What do I do? And like 99% of the people were like, yeah. So that breastfeeding story of you breastfeed, you drop the weight easy, that's a great story. And it works for a lot of people. But then there's also the other people where their body is like, nope. All that extra fat you've gained over the pregnancy, we're going to hold on to that in case of an emergency so that if you go a day or 2 or 3 without being able to eat, your body still produces milk. And I'm like, So they're like, so some people just can't drop that weight till after they're done breastfeeding and they wean the baby. And I'm like, oh, that must be me. Because I'm thinking about it with Lana. I lost some weight, but I didn't lose a good amount of weight until after I stopped breastfeeding her. And now with twins, my belly's way worse. Obviously, I gained more weight being pregnant with twins. And I did lose a chunk of weight at the beginning. And I was like, woohoo, the breastfeeding thing's really going to work. And then it stopped. And I've been stuck. And I'm like, what the heck? But again, I don't want to cut too many calories and ruin.
You're not eating a lot from what I've seen.
Yeah, I'm trying to be good. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be good and not yeah.
Okay, can you go jogging like on the treadmill, Stairmaster, or anything like that, or no? Like any type of
I can totally work out. Okay. I can totally work out now. And I started a good workout routine right before you came, but we've been doing stuff with you. I just haven't done it.
You're like, I gained 10 pounds because
No.
Jessica's got us working 22-hour days.
I make my clients work extra hard. That's why they get all this press. That's why Wes has a TV show, because I'm like, wake up 5 a.m.
Let's go. I'm exhausted. No, but no, it's fine, and I'll get back on it probably by the time when you leave, and it's totally fine. I'd rather hang out with you while you're here, because when am I going to see you again?
Hopefully soon. You guys are awesome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, my gosh, I definitely want to come back and when things are reopened, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't have to wear a mask. Oh, when we have to wear a mask, I'm going to get my mask and put them in a fire.
Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have the fire pits. I'll have to send them out here.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, you just come with them and bring them with you and just throw them in the fire.
My next trip, I'm going to put all my masks in my luggage and bring them out here to have a bonfire.
Yeah, a mass bonfire. There you go. Mass burning.
I think those would be the parties for like 2022 is going to be mass burning parties.
Yeah, instead of bra burning, it's mass burning.
Never been to either one.
Me neither.
Well, I'm ready. When next time there's a mass burning party, count me in.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. But, anyway, yes, once you get cleared by your doctor at about 6 weeks, you can do workouts. But it's slow going because it is a big thing having a baby. So
I know. I mean, one of the reasons why I haven't had one yet, I'm a little scared. just a tiny bit scared. And especially, because my mom, she had 2 bad pregnancies. So that's one of the reasons probably why I haven't gotten pregnant yet. I'm literally afraid because of what my mom went through. But then my grandmother had 4 good pregnancies, but still my mother, is my mother. So I'm thinking, I'm going to have bad pregnancies like her, because you just never know what can happen.
You never know. I was so freaked out. We did the Bradley birthing method where his husband coached childbirth, and you go in there and they tell you all the bad things that can happen. And, you're so paranoid. And me being on the road, I don't know if it was morbid or what, but I was worried about, Down syndrome children missing arms, legs.
I'm scared of
that. Now, all right, we're on the road 400 shows a year. Uh-huh. Now, what kind of van do I have to buy with wheelchair access and all? I was thinking about this, and Natalie was saying I was being too morbid, but I'm trying to plan, and you just don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to have.
Well, the thing is, there's nothing you can do until they get here. So, and they have tests. You can do a blood test early in pregnancy to see if the child has Down syndrome and a couple other things.
Just a blood test where they go like this to you, and
I'm not sure.
I'm put a needle on your arm and get.
I'm really not sure because they offered it and we said no thank you.
Oh, you didn't take them?
Yeah, because honestly, what difference would it make? I would just be fretting about it for the rest of the pregnancy, and and so I was just like, no, if they come out with Down syndrome, I'm going to love them just as much.
Yeah.
And so we'll just deal with it then.
Yeah.
Let's just not even fret about it and worry about it. It'll be fine. And they both came out. We were very, very blessed with twins for both of them to come out perfectly healthy, good weights, no NICU time. We were blessed.
Yeah.
So.
And for you, you look amazing for having twins.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome. You're like glowing.
I don't feel like I look amazing, but I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
Because you went through an ordeal. You look so happy.
I am happy.
And you look so pretty. Like
oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You can tell how glowing you are.
Well, thank you. Yes, I'm very happy. I have a wonderful daughter and 2 beautiful little baby boys, and our family is complete. Yeah, I got a pretty good husband too.
You're like the preferred twin.
Yeah, this baby talk is a little too much
No,
for
you know
a
what?
Magic Life podcast.
Wes,
The Baby Life podcast now.
yeah, right, exactly. I do have to give Wes props though. He's amazingly helpful, and I don't know if other husbands are as helpful as he has been, and he's been supportive. I make decisions about how and do things, and he's like, all right. So I mean, like, I don't know. Co-sleeping in the United States is not a big thing where you have the babies in bed with you, and honestly, can you hush? He knows we're talking about him. But when we brought them home from the hospital, getting up and down so many times, having them in their own bed was just so much. So I was like, Wes, we have to bring them to bed. I'm going to go insane if I don't get some sleep. And he was fine with it. And, you know, some people wouldn't be. They'd be like, no, you got to put them in bed. But he was fine with it, and we did that for a while. Now they sleep in their own little bassinet, still in our room, because they get up enough in the night that it would just be a pain in the butt to have to walk down the hall yet. But eventually they'll go in their own room. That is the goal. But for now.
Yeah, like when they're like 1 year old maybe.
No, when they start sleeping good through the night where they're not, you know, waking, because now they'll sleep a good 7 hours or so, usually. But they'll have a couple of times where you just have to pop binkies back in because they wake up restless and they want to they open their eyes. They see me. Yeah. Well, until they fall asleep, and then they spit them out.
Okay.
And so, you know, they'll wake up and I'll pop a binky in, they see me, and that's good enough, and they go back to sleep. So, which is awesome, but I don't want to have to walk down the hall.
The doctor told us a fun fact that they didn't tell us that with Lana. It's instinctual for babies to suck on a binky because it gives them dopamine. It gives them a relaxing drug, and it encourages them that they want that relaxing drug so that they breastfeed.
I didn't know.
So if they suck, it gives them a reward.
Yeah.
That's so fascinating.
Yeah, so that's why they suck on the pacifier. And then if one's sucking on it harder, or one's just spit it out and smiling at you, and the other one's sucking hard, Natalie's like, oh, that one must be stressed.
Just a joke. But he must need a little extra hit of dopamine right now. So.
But the baby started eating real food this week.
They did. They are 6 months old, and so they started baby food. So we started on first with the cereal, the oatmeal, and they did that and built up from once a day to 3 times a day.
And that was messy.
That was messy.
But when we
then we add vegetables,
carrots,
and we just added carrots today.
It seems so much worse. It
'Cause
stains
it's
your
orange.
skin orange.
Yes.
The kid got it all over his face, rubbed it in his eyes, rubbed it in his hair, and then
Now
held my
that
hand.
color doesn't get out, that orange from carrots. It stays on things. It's almost like the color of foundation.
Yeah.
Like when you get foundation on your shirt, it doesn't come out in laundry.
Yeah. It's gotten to be a mess. But then we get them down to their diapers to eat the baby food so far.
Because they make a heck of a mess.
Because they make a huge mess, and otherwise you'd have food all
Six
over all their
outfits.
clothes.
It's really cute,
right.
though. It is really cute. I never realized you can get food in your hair, all over your clothes,
Oh my
on
goodness.
your legs,
Yep.
on the back of your chair.
On his ears, behind his ears.
Like,
he was crying and screaming because I was cleaning his hand, and he grabbed his ear and pulled it forward, and it was in his ear, and I'm trying to wipe it out as I'm cleaning him up, and it was in his hair.
Just like get the food, and then you just put it on your hands, and then they just put it all over.
Needless
It's
to
really
say,
cute,
they're
though.
getting more baths these days.
But the cutest thing ever, it's on our Facebook page, was when we picked you up from the airport. And we're driving down the road, and Natalie's like, well, it took so long to get to the airport. We had to go to Dulles in D.C., which was 2.5 hours. So by the time we picked Jessica up, we were late to feed. And then we had to pull over in a Walmart parking lot. And we're like, it was rainy all day long. Luckily, the clouds broke. Mm-hmm. And we set them up for a tailgate session in the back of the van.
That was my first experience in Virginia.
And you'll never forget it. You'll never forget it. In a Walmart parking lot.
I mean, this whole trip has been unforgettable.
But people driving by with their groceries in their car, looking over, and their jaws dropping and pointing. Nobody talked to us, but people would point and go, "Oh," gawking as they drove by, because both of them are in the back.
And then there's like my luggage on the other side of the car, and I'm like standing there half asleep, and I barely know what's going on. I mean, listen, anyway, but there's this this girl standing, and then the husband and the wife. Like, what's going on here? What's the luggage? It totally looked like a funny situation.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we're filming a TV show.
Hey, when you got to do what you got to do when you have babies. So
Yeah.
they needed to eat, and we weren't going into a restaurant or something where we could set them up and eat. So we just
It was cute. It was
sat them in the back of the car.
Cutest tailgate party I've ever seen.
Yeah.
With no alcohol.
But now you see why we need an RV.
Yeah.
Yes. And the funny thing is, so because I've never met you guys in person until now, and I spoke to you on the phone. He said he had an SUV and he had a big car. I'm thinking, why would you get a bigger car? I mean, you have an SUV. Seriously, there's no need. I have friends with SUVs, and we have put our stuff in, no problem. Go out with 3-4 people, no problem. And then I saw, after hanging out with you guys, I realized, oh, this is why you need an RV.
Yes.
Because I didn't realize how much stuff.
Right.
And you haven't seen us go to a show yet. I mean,
That's tomorrow. Yes.
yeah, but I mean, we have a lot of. Be careful hitting the microphone. The people listening, it's blowing their eardrums.
Sorry about that.
You're like
good.
hitting it, barely touching it. Sounds like you're hitting it with a whatever. Anyway, yeah. So tomorrow you'll see my van is loaded with stuff. People think we live in our van and stuff, but we wouldn't have room to even lay down anymore.
No.
I can't, and that's funny thing is that I know people just have the weirdest assumptions, but I don't even think that you live in your van. Like, really?
Well,
With the doves and the rabbits.
Right.
Natalie and I, before Lana was born, if we had a show out of state, we'd sleep in the van. We'd pull over in a parking lot, Walmart parking lot or hotel parking lot, take a couple hour nap, and then get back on the road.
But that's not living in a van.
No.
That's not even take a nap
No.
in your car.
no. We tried taking naps when Lana was a baby, but she wouldn't let us. She inevitably she'd be awake when we would pull over to try and take a nap. She'd be like, So, it
Kids
didn't
and napping
work.
don't usually go together well.
No.
But this week we also did our Zoom Illusion show.
Yeah.
It's our second fundraiser for a school, and it was 2 schools getting together again. Apparently they had talked to the other schools, and they loved it so much.
Yeah.
And
So
at the
they
last
decided to
minute,
do
man,
it.
this thing went haywire.
Oh my, yes. So we were going to do it at the school that started the whole process, and then they invited a second school in. So that school was going to have it at their school on the stage and Zoom it to everybody in their houses. But what was it? Wednesday?
For a Friday
For
show.
the Friday show, she calls and says, so the principal just called to let me know that they're starting to store stuff on the stage. So you're only going to have like 2.5 feet of room. We're like, well, that's not going to work.
How are you going to do a show?
I mean, I guess we'll just be doing the show in front of the stage. She was like, yeah, well, also, they just let me know that the Wi-Fi is kind of spotty at the school. And we're like, well, that's not going to work. I mean, if this goes out during the show, that's going to be awful.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good. And so, because she was like, well, I asked them, I said, can I do this here? And they said yes, which she assumed meant, yeah, the Wi-Fi works great. It's all good. She knew it was a Zoom show. But no, the Wi-Fi was spotty. So she offered to have it in her basement.
I'm just afraid you might be banging. Hold on. Don't touch it.
So she offered to have it in her basement, which was a nice large basement. It was ground floor basement, a little bit of lug-in stuff, but the ceilings were 8 feet, and one of her illusions we need 10 feet. And then the lady from the other school offered her office building, which she said had 10-foot ceilings and they could move all the desks out. And then they also just tried to see if they could do it at the other school. The other school finally got back to them Friday morning and said, well, our Wi-Fi is a little spotty as well. So you're more than welcome to do it here, but it's spotty. And we're like, well, we don't want to do it with spotty Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Like, we're in the same
Zoom show,
situation.
for crying out loud.
So we're like, well, if the office has 10-foot ceilings, let's do it there, because our illusion show,
Hands touching the mic. That's all right.
the illusion that's taller, we can do in 10-foot ceilings. We've had 10-foot ceilings done, and we can do it. We've done it before with 10-foot ceilings. So we get there, and the desks are pushed to the side, It's a little. When they said that they could move the desk, we thought they meant out of the room, like all the
like move
but
it.
but they
Keep them
couldn't do
moving.
that. I understand. There wasn't anywhere to put them, so they just moved them to the side, and so we made it work. We had a backdrop because they put us against windows, and those turn into mirrors at nighttime.
All right, so we are recording in our dining room right now. Mm-hmm. Imagine if we moved the dining room table out, but didn't move any other furniture.
That's
and
pretty
we're
much
performing this way. The camera's there.
Yeah, that's pretty
And
much.
we
how
had to
it's
do an
run.
illusion show in this room.
Right.
So the illusion would wheel from the kitchen here. We'd do it and then wheel it out.
Right.
And then pull another one in, do it, and then wheel it out. And then my
Right.
table I had set up. It was very tight.
It was pretty
But
tight.
we made it work.
We made it work. And we decided to test out the tall illusion, which is our metamorphosis where we switch. We decided to test that out before, thank God. And we tried over and over, like a good, about 10 times, trying to do
We worked
this
on it
trick.
hard for 30 minutes.
Yeah, and we could not make it work.
And
no
we were
matter
getting
what
frustrated.
we did. We were like, what is going on? And finally, I told Wes, I said, normally 10-foot ceilings, I can touch them when I'm on top of the box. But my arms are outstretched more. Here, my elbows are bent. So I'm not sure that this is 10 feet. And so we found a measuring tape and we measured and it was 9 feet, which you would think, oh, it's just a foot.
Yeah.
But that foot makes all the difference. So we had to take out that illusion, which...
Oh, because I had to have a 10-foot ceiling for that illusion.
Yeah, and they had said it was 10
They
feet.
lied to you.
I think she
They didn't
thought
even
it was
know.
10
yeah,
feet.
she didn't know because 9 from 10.
Yeah,
You're-
I think
if
she
you
really
look up,
thought.
what is the ceiling in this room?
Can't tell.
I don't know.
No
Right.
idea.
I don't
Yeah.
have a clue.
So, I mean, I think she thought it was 10 feet, but
Yeah.
it was 9.
What is
and
ours? So
I
it's
don't
11 in here?
I don't know.
Looks
It
pretty daggone tall.
might be 9.
Oh.
I think it might be 9. But anyway, it might be 9 or 10. I don't know. But the point is, that was 9. It wouldn't work. So we just, it was one of those things where it was just like 2 days before the show. We were all set, thought we were golden, knew where the show was going to happen, and all of a sudden we have to scramble for a show location. And then you get there on the day of the show and you have to figure out how to make it all work. So
That's
it's just
show business for you.
and it worked and nobody knew anything happens. It was absolutely fine.
So you did an illusion for an illusion show.
Yes, we did plenty of
An
illusions.
illusion of an illusion.
We had enough illusions.
But they had talked to the
So-
other school, and we said, we've done Zoom shows at our house, but the other school that we did live on stage but zoomed into your living room, they hired a tech guy, and they were like, well, our school has a Zoom account. We can hold hundreds of people, and we'll take care of that. We'll do that too here at our school. The day of the show, it's only the 2 PTA presidents. That's it. No one else showed
I
up.
guess they had hired a tech guy.
And an hour and a half before the show, they were like, all right, we've never done this before. How do we do it? And
How
I
do we
said, well, all you have to do
spotlight?
is just spotlight somebody when you want them on, or spotlight me so that everybody can see me. And then we have a close-up camera and a wide camera. And, we'll do close-up camera when we do close-up magic, and then the wide shot. Natalie can move the camera around. Natalie knows what she's doing, but I need you to set her up, and I need you guys to spotlight. An hour and a half before the show, they're Googling what spotlight even means.
yeah.
They have no idea where the button is. They don't know. Everything worked great. Everything finally
It
at
came
the
together.
end came
Yeah.
together. Everything was great. But all of these disasters, I told Natalie, if this would have been year 1 for me being a magician and having to be this flexible and running into all these obstacles just for one show, I would never
I've done it.
have been, I'd have had to get a real job. It wouldn't have
Yeah.
worked.
Yeah.
But having 30 years under my belt doing magic, full time, you learn tricks of the trade, and you learn just to keep your cool and just
Go
do
with
your
the
gig.
flow
Yeah.
and adjust.
And if I would have been freaking out, it would have made those PTA presidents freaking out more
Right.
because they were worried.
They
a lot
were
of
very
pressure
worried,
was on
and
them to get the Zoom
Right.
thing done, and I'm like, guys, it's fine, it'll work. Aim a camera at us, we'll do our job.
Right. Yeah.
And I set them at ease.
Yeah. Yeah. We made it work and it was absolutely fine and it went great.
We
It
did a
went really
question
well.
answer at the other show 2 Zoom shows ago, and the people were able to ask us questions audibly. These people couldn't figure that out, but people were able to type questions
That's
in.
right.
They were able to type questions in, and I was able to answer questions for a question answer.
Right.
And
And
really,
that worked fine.
It was fine.
Yep.
It was fine. It wasn't the
And
same.
it
was fine.
But it probably came across the same way because at the other one they couldn't have with the microphones, they didn't want the screeching. So they couldn't have the question asked straight to us. So at the first show, one of the hosts would hear the question and then repeat it to us. And here, she just had to read the question out loud. So it was the same thing.
Okay.
I think it came across pretty much the same.
But I mean, we just went with the flow. It's fine. Anyway, we gave away decks of cards instead of T-shirts this time from Express Copy and Graphics. And I did close-up magic with those new cards, with my logo cards. And people were so excited. I told them to email me with their address, and I get the cards to them. And
yeah, I saw them. Those are really cool.
Yeah, I love it. I love them. And we had several orders since. I don't have them on the website yet, but I gave away cards during the show, and we had several orders come in. People saying, "Hey, I didn't win that, but I couldn't find them on your website either. I want to buy them. How much are they? What are they?" And we have orders for them now.
That's such a
They're
good
not even on the website yet.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
And the cool thing with cards is that people won't just, put them in their drawer. People actually use them, So it's like when you have your brand or name on a deck of cards. That's really
And
good.
you get your friends over on Friday night. What the heck is this logo? Dude, this is the best magician I've ever seen.
Have you seen the winner of Penn and Teller's Fool Us right
There you
now?
So we had, with all that craziness going on and being in that realty place, they had a office where people can sign documents. And that's
like
where we put
a notary
room. Like a conference room.
Yeah, it's like when you get documents like notarized or something like that.
No, just a conference room off to the side where they could,
do things,
do
have
stuff.
conferences.
Yeah.
So we shut the door and we put the babies, but it was glassed, so we could see in just fine. So
I've had.
So
those
we have Lana, and we had Lex, and we had Julian, and we had Willow, which is Natalie's niece.
Yes.
She was babysitting all the kids, and it was like our daycare center in that place.
Yeah, because you could walk by and see.
And
it's pretty funny.
And Willow, how'd she do?
Poor Willow. She did great. She did wonderful. But Lex and Julian aren't used to her. Oh. So they were absolutely perfectly fine with her when they were awake and happy. But when they wanted to go to sleep, they didn't want her. So the poor thing, she was singing to them. She was holding them both at the same time and jiggling and singing and walking around, doing everything she could.
They wanted their mommy when they were tired.
She did an amazing job, but they just didn't want anybody, except for probably me or Wes when they were that tired. So they just we'll have to pick her up maybe a couple of days earlier next time and just get her to maybe rock them to sleep a couple
What
times.
about with Lana though? Did they see?
Well, for the first half, Lana helps out a lot. She's in the show a lot. She's in an illusion. She helps out and she does magic with Wes. For one of the tricks that we usually have somebody from the audience come up and help with, she helps because obviously there's no audience that's live. It's all Zoom. So she was in that for pretty much the whole time, plus a couple behind the scene things that she does. And so she was helping for most of that. And then they had the intermission, and poor Willow, she looked a little frazzled. But she did great.
How old is Willow?
She's 17.
Oh, okay, she's 17.
So she was doing great. But she was trying and doing her best. And then Lana was in there, but Lana she does great. She likes to babysit, but when they start crying, I think it stresses her out.
And when they start crying, do they want Lana or they only want you or Wes?
They will laugh and smile at Lana. They love Lana 100%.
Yeah.
But when they're tired, a lot of the times they want me.
They just want, so they know the difference between like their parents and their brothers and sisters.
Yeah, but
so they know that you're mom and dad, and they know that like Lana's.
If you saw them in the restaurant tonight, Natalie rocked one of them to sleep.
Yeah.
I held the other one. When he started crying, I handed him to his mom. He wanted his mom.
Yeah.
The one I'm holding right now, Natalie rocked him to sleep. Now I'm just holding him.
So
Natalie is very much imprinted on these two, and they are spoiled and they love their mommy.
Which you know what? I will take it because it won't last forever. So I will enjoy
so
it.
Fast. I know it's crazy to think when I see them again, they're going to be walking. That's what's crazy.
They'll be shooting. There won't be any birds or squirrels in our backyard. They'll be shooting with BB guns.
Oh no! Like, what happened to all the animals?
Yeah, where are your animals? I thought you had like 20 chickens.
I know,
Yeah, well,
I know,
Lex
I know.
got them.
Do you still have the dog?
No.
Yeah, we still have the dog.
He's only got one eye, but we got him.
We got one animal left.
The poor dog, she's skittish as it is. She'll be hiding in
Oh
the
gosh,
corner
when
next
she's
time.
she's gonna be like, no! She's gonna actually go to her crate on her own.
And she's like, I'm done.
But anyway, Willow did great. She did fine.
She did wonderful.
We've stressed out other babysitters before. We took we had a babysitter on the road with us, Caitlin, that came on the road with us for years, and we love Caitlin. But she couldn't come to one day because of school or something, and we were doing a resort out of state, overnight, staying in the hotel, the suite, or whatever. And we had to bring her sister Jessica with us. And that night, Lana was about these guys' age.
No, she was older because she was potty training.
But whatever it was, she screamed all night long and would not stop. Mm-hmm. Nothing you could do make her happy. And that girl was about 17 years old. And she came home that night and told her parents she decided she don't think she wants kids. And then we said,
that is really funny.
I took Lana out in the middle of the night. I had kidney stones that trip.
Yeah, so Wes took her for the first couple of hours, and then he had kidney stones. He came back and said, I can't do it. I said, it's fine, I'll take her. So I went down to the lobby actually with her, and we sat and we watched movies on the phone. It was just like she was wide awake. So you try and get her to go to sleep, and she's just, she starts crying because she didn't want to go to sleep. She's just wide awake. And I was so tired, and it was like 5 a.m. They start putting out breakfast. I'm like, I haven't slept yet. When are you going to sleep? Holy night.
And we have an illusion show
and
the next day.
that lady who was putting out the stuff, she was like, this is why I didn't feed my children sugar. I almost slapped her. I was like, you have got, no. You don't talk to somebody right now that's been up all night with their child and tell them and assume that I gave her sugar.
Well,
and that's why she was up.
You just want to,
No.
But she told her sister that she didn't really sleep a wink that night. And we're like, every time we looked over, you were asleep. She said, I faked it. I thought if I moved, she said, I thought if I moved, it would alert the baby and waken the baby or something.
She must have slept because I was out of the room for hours. So I think you two had to have gotten sleep. Because I was out from like 2 to, 6 or 7 in the morning.
But we've stressed out other babysitters is what I was trying to say.
We have.
Before.
And I asked Willow.
The publicist.
That's good.
Hey, you only got here a couple days ago. You still got 4 or 5 more days.
You're like, wait till the end of the week.
You'll be happy to be on a plane.
I don't know about that.
I don't think so. I think it was just they were tired and they didn't want Willow. That was it. And I asked her. I said, "So was that too much? Are we gonna have to find somebody else to babysit next time?" She said, "No, it's totally fine. I would love to come back and babysit. They just wouldn't stop crying."
Well, at least she'll come back.
But yeah.
And I asked her, I said, should we rent these kids out to like schools for pregnancy awareness? And she said yes, because you wouldn't have underage pregnancies if they had to watch these kids like
while
that.
they were tired. Yeah. They're good kids. Don't make them think they're bad kids.
No,
they're
not bad.
Just when they're tired, or they get overtired.
It's after midnight right now, and they're calm. They're not screaming or anything. And we went to a busy restaurant. They were calm. Yeah. They were calm in the 2-hour ride home from the airport. I think I was less calm than them because I was so annoyed from flying all day.
Well, if we work as hard the rest of the week as we have these first couple of days, you won't have a problem on that plane ride home because you could be sleeping the whole time.
I think, yes. I think that's the stage I'm going to be at. I think I'll be sleeping on the plane ride home, on the Uber ride home. When I get home, I don't even think I'm going to unpack. I think I'm just going to go home. Kill me now. And then the worst part, too, is I think taxes, I thought that they were due in May this year, but then I heard that they're still doing April. I don't know. But I might have to go home and do my taxes.
Oh, we already did ours.
We did them early. My birthday is tax day, so I always get it done early.
That's a good day to have your birthday.
Yeah.
It's like, happy birthday.
Right.
Taxes.
I know.
Tell her, Nat. Tell her.
What?
What your birthday is.
Oh, April 15th is tax day. Oh, right, yeah. So it's tax day. It's the day that the Titanic finished sinking. It's Adolf Hitler's birthday as well. And it's the day that Lincoln died. So he was shot on the 14th, but he died on the 15th. Just like the Titanic started sinking on the 14th, but it finished on the 15th.
Well, at least the Titanic didn't
It did. It
It
finished.
did. It
It
did.
finished sinking. That's when all the people died. Was probably on my birthday. So I'm the
then
only
Well-
bit of sunshine for that day.
Well, my birthday was very uneventful until 2020, which now my birthday is the day that the official shutdown of the world was announced.
Yeah.
So you guess I can say,
There you go.
We're even now. So now forever I remember my birthday. Oh yeah, that's when life shut down officially.
It's just funny.
And
all
now
those
it's been my
things.
second birthday during COVID.
Yeah.
And better not be a third before I officially go crazy. I'm
Right.
like, after a third birthday, I'm gonna have to
At
commit
least this
myself.
birthday, you could go out. You
Yeah,
know,
yes.
do something.
Yeah.
So.
But the last
Yeah.
birthday, I couldn't even get toilet paper.
Right.
So
Right.
So,
Yeah.
It's
We
a step
shipped
up.
you some Virginia toilet paper.
That's right.
We did.
Yep.
I did, and
Yeah.
afterwards, a forest grew in my backyard. and I got snow in the winter.
So, before we wrap everything up, we got about 10 minutes left. Do you want to tell everybody what to look for, the name of your show, and can you do any tips or hints?
I can say a little bit. So, we're doing the first season of a show called Cinderella of Hollywood, and it's like my newborn baby. I created it, and just finally getting everything started. And it's about my real life. I mean, it's real. It's what I'm going through, and that's I'm so excited to share. But it's something where you don't know how everything's going to turn out, because we're doing this show day by day, and it's all real. And it's going to air sometime, I'm thinking, in the summer or the fall. And when I do have a release date, we will let everyone know. We'll have another podcast.
Yeah, we'll have you back on.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Maybe I'll come back to Virginia.
There you go.
Well, you don't have to do that, though, but you can have you on. But if you want to come back out, come back out.
My name
We'll start filming season 2.
I'm ready. And it's great because the Iseli family is a huge part of this season. And you get to know them in a different way than Magiclife. And you get to see some humor, some drama. We cover it all. So you guys have to stay tuned. And if you want to find updates, I guess, about me, you can go on IMDb, Instagram, Facebook, and my webpage. So
And it's Jessica Ross Official.
Yeah, my Instagram is Jessica Ross Official. My Facebook is Jessica Ross 2018. I'm on TikTok, which I need to start getting me started again, because TikTok is huge. And yeah, so find me, follow me, and I look forward to connecting with everyone.
So we talked about my house being a playground and everything. What did you think about? We've worked together, I think 3 years now. I'm not sure.
I think 2017, so almost 4 years.
So you'd never met us before this trip, but you had seen our videos and stuff. So what do you think about us in real life? Are we like our videos? Are we more or less? What do you think?
I have to say, you guys are very much like your videos, because it's funny, not being in person, you think it'd be like a thing, but really awkward and weird because you never met someone in person before and you worked with them for 3 years. But because I've seen some of your videos, and you guys are exactly how you are in person as you guys are in the videos, I feel like I know you already.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
And it's really your videos, you're genuine, and I think that's what makes you so endearing, is that what you show in your videos is your daily life. It's everything that you're doing, from your shows to your twins, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you don't filter it. You don't try to, make it, sugarcoat things or anything like that. You show it all. And I think that's what people like about you, is that, when you watch your show, you feel like you're getting to know. It's not just entertainment, but it's something personal.
Yeah. It's relatable, I feel.
is.
I feel that, some people wouldn't put some of the stuff up that we've gone through in our lives, but we always think of it as, people go through these situations, and we're not the only ones. And maybe if somebody sees this, they can see that somebody else went through it and survived it, and they can too.
We had
and
talked.
it's inspiring me, because like someone like me that doesn't have kids, I'm watching a show and learning about parenting.
Yeah.
And
I taught you about wet nurses earlier today. You
I
didn't know what that was.
had no idea.
We don't have a wet nurse, but
Nope.
it just came up in conversation, and Jessica said, "What is that?" But
Yep.
It is again. There's so much about parenting that no one knows.
Yeah.
And again, I was like, "What nurse?" I'm like, "They actually do that?"
yeah, Google it. Google it. We don't
Yeah,
have time to get into it
I
right
probably
now.
can't, but yes.
But for our show, I don't know. What do you think about Natalie's acting ability, just in general? Yeah, she wanted to be an actress.
I never knew that. And how? And I mean, I haven't seen you act, but how come you never pursued it?
I wanted to, but I didn't have the backing. I didn't have the support. I didn't have anybody saying go for it. My parents were more of the mindset of have a backup plan, go to college, don't, only want, they had the statistics. How
Yes.
many people actually make it as an actress? Not very many. And so I didn't have the support. So I didn't do it. And looking back, it was probably good that I didn't, because I was very naive. I probably still am. I'm a very trusting person, extremely trusting, until somebody shows me that they can't be trusted. I pretty much trust them. I think the best of people. And then
That's a good attitude.
I told Wes, I said, probably if I had gone out there, I probably would have been chewed up and spit out. I probably would have ended up in some sort of bad situation. And
I don't think so. You have a good head on your shoulders. I think if I've grown up out here, and if you know right from wrong, if you have a good head on your shoulders and you feel good about yourself. I mean, I'm surrounded by everything every day.
Yeah, but
Right.
she's saying she trusts everybody.
I'm saying, if some shady person said, hey, we're having auditions here, show up here at this time, I would have been like, oh, really? Awesome. And I would have gone. Then I would have been missing or dead or...
my parents are New Yorkers, so it was like, they remember me, like, I grew up being taught, like, the second you go outside, they're like, oh, everyone's out to kill you.
Right. No, I didn't have that.
No, my parents think that everyone's a kidnapper or a murderer.
No,
But
okay.
again, they're from New York
No.
City, so
Yeah.
no,
No, I didn't have that. No.
And I'm an only child, so like literally my mom's like, if something happens to you, I have no more kids, so you better not get in trouble. No pressure.
But yeah. No, I enjoyed it. I was in drama and everything growing up, and I had a lot of fun as student director and did all that stuff, and it was great. I loved it, and that's what I wanted to do, but I just didn't have the support system, so I didn't do it.
Well,
But now what you're doing is very similar.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And you know what? There's never a time that you can't start acting. There's actors from 5 years old to 90 years old.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's like, you can always get into it. It's not like
Well, you never know. Maybe one day.
never say never.
well, Jessica's been here 3 days, and Lana really wanted a baby sister, but Lana feels like she has a big sister now.
Yes.
Lana, I think, really likes Jessica.
Aww.
So thank you for being so cool to her.
Yeah.
She's drawing you pictures, and you guys are gonna, play makeup together
Yes.
and
She's gonna
take
love that.
pictures together and make her feel glamorous. She's gonna love that.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
her. And yeah, 'cause I'm an only
So-
child, so I've always wanted siblings, and so it's like now it's like having a little sister. But the weird or funny thing is I could really be her mom.
Yeah.
So it's like, she's a little young to be my sister, but she feels like
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
You guys are awesome.
Yes, I could be a sister mom,
there you go.
something like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we're running out of time. Jessica, thank you so much. Jessica Ross Official on Instagram.
Jessica Ross 2018 on Facebook. IMDb. I'm Jessica Ross.
There you go. And tonight on Jewel TV, they're airing episode 5 from season 2 called Lana Starts Illusion Rehearsals. Natalie was pregnant. Natalie was about to pop. She was getting so big she couldn't even fit in boxes.
Yep.
So we taught Lana, and you get to
Yep.
see behind the scene footage of her starting rehearsals.
Yep. It's
So,
sweet.
Yeah. Anyway.
See you next week.
Bye.
Today's episode of the podcast is sponsored by Express Copy and Graphics. Mention promo code Wes Iseli to get 10% off. Their website is expresscopy.com. That's XPRESS-COPY.com. They do it all. Copies, banners, signs, vehicle wraps, promo items, practically anything you need printed, they can do it for you. These guys are great. Check them out. Check us out online at wesisley.com and patreon.com/Wes_Isley for behind-the-scenes videos, blooper videos, never-before-seen footage, discounts on merchandise, magic trick tutorials, and more. That's Wes Iseli, spelled Wesiseli.